Good afternoon, guys. Hope y'all having a great day. Today we're going to be reacting to Marathon's new in-game content flops, brings no new players into the game, and doesn't hit new peak. By Dark Titan Media. And also, where'd the dog go? I'm thinking about doing like game reviews. I'd like to hear y'all's opinion on that. So y'all be interested in seeing that. Like, let me know down in the comments below. Be much appreciated. Go ahead and get into this.
When Marathon had released a few weeks ago, Bungie asked the Access media to withhold their reviews until their new Endgame update launched, and now that it
I would say the second the game releases, it is like you have to pay full price for it. The second the game releases, it is open to review. Like, I don't give a fuck if it wasn't ready to release, you shouldn't have released it.
finally has, it's not looking super positive for this game. Its player counts have not skyrocketed. There are a lot of gamers taking to social media to voice how unhappy they are with this new content, and even Bungie knows that these raids are a problem for casuals. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, yes, it is true that not every single game needs a million players concurrent for it to be successful, but in the case of Marathon, we know Bungie put a lot of time and a lot of money into this. This is what they are banking on. Now that Destiny 2 is finally winding.
Honestly, like, it's been a long time since Bungie's made a good game, in my opinion. I'm like, Destiny, Destiny 2 was pretty shit, honestly. It's pretty dog shit. Destiny 1, I really didn't care for that one. Like, I don't think that they've made a real, like, smash hit game in a while. And it's honestly a shame because the company's name used to be known for like making amazing games, like just like hit home run kind of games, and now it's just kind of dog shit.
Down. They thought that this was going to be some major smashing success, and the fact that Sony bought Bungie for $3.6 billion means that
Somebody walked away like a criminal right there.
they need this to make a profit as quickly as possible, but it doesn't look like that's really happening. Sure, it has probably sold.
Also, I should mention, there's a current thing going on right now with like Sony. They're raising the cost of PlayStation consoles. A PS5 without disc tray is going to $600. It's like $100. I think it's like a Yeah, it's like $100 increase on that one. And when with the disc tray is going to 650, also $100 increase. Then so that's like from 500 to 600, then it's like from 550 to 650. And then the PlayStation Pro is going from it's like 150 increase. So it's like at 900. Let's see. So it's like going from 750 to $900. That is insane to me. Hold on, I heard something. All right, we're good. I thought the dog escaped again. I got a puppy and there's a hawk around and I don't need her going outside.
Upwards of 1 million copies. They are silent on it, but because this game only has a $40 entry fee, that means they need to.
See, that's what annoys me. It's like, it's not a horrible game. It's not. But, but, it's a $40 entry fee and the cosmetics look like dog shit. It's an always online game. It's just like, it's not worth it. It's not worth the $40, and then the cosmetics are not worth it either. I'm like, there's no like the characters aren't really attractive. There's no reason to want to play this game. If it was free to play, and then they had better cosmetics, I'd say it'd probably be a pretty good hit. But it's not.
Basically sell double the amount of copies they would if it was a $70 experience. And that means that they do, yes, need a very casual audience to show up and consume this content. Look what happened with Arc Raiders. They were able to capture very competitive players and very casual players, and that's why it has sold so many copies up until this point. But that's not happening for Bungie and Marathon. And because a few days ago, the brand new big cryo archives update finally released, you would think that their player numbers would go
No,
up significantly. Now, I think a big problem for them is the fact that Crimson
I think it would probably jump a little bit in players, and if it was shit, we would see the jump like a player base go automatically right back down, and maybe even lower.
Desert also released, and that
Crimson Desert also looks like a masterpiece, and I really want to get it.
is crushing the competition right now. But even Crimson Desert aside, they couldn't get all of their initial purchasers back. I mean, this game had its all time peak on release at
Oh,
88,000.
that is still not good for a AAA game. For an indie game to get 88,000, that would be amazing. For a small company to get 88,000, that would be great. That's like really be good. But for a AAA company, this number right here just does not look promising, especially when your players right now are 26,000. I'm talking about that. This game just released not too long ago. Like you do not want to be at this number.
And 337 in game. And sure, over the weekend, it had gotten up to 56,683 players in game on Steam at once.
If you could keep 56,000 players active all at once, like as like a more on a level basis, yeah, I could see like you make some profit there. But we're talking about like a AAA company running AAA servers with 26,000 players. I don't see 26,000 players sticking around for very long. You will slowly see this number go down unless they improve.
But that still isn't close to their all time peak. You would think with the first wave of content and this big update, and this was the point where Bungie said, do not judge the game
I will
until
judge game.
this comes out. And now that it's come out and people aren't even jumping back in to judge it, that's pretty bad. And over the weekend, it had gotten to the 56,000, it got to 53,000, and then 53,000 again. That's been about where it's topped out. As of right now, it's at 26,447. And an issue they have with the player count is that the archives are only open on the weekend, which is so bizarre to me. I think they're hoping it's going to feel more like a big new event, but yeah, I think that that's just going to push people away. I don't think that
Like I just feel like they've fucked up, and they're trying to fix this because they're probably right. Everyone's probably like she's even her saying like they needed this to be a success. They do need to be a success because if they another failure under their belt, Sony just might cut their losses and like close down the studio. Saying this is the end of Bungie because like they can't make a game worth the shit because like there's like always this diversity, equity, and inclusion like mindset in all these companies, even Bungie. But like they're also just like not making good stories. And it's like, in my opinion, this is my opinion. Destiny 2 was a failure. I ain't gonna say complete failure, but it was a pretty bad failure. I think they did pull it back, but that launch is something to be remembered. But no point stands like if they don't turn this around, this could be the end of Bungie.
that is some genius plan to get people in game on the weekends. It says, though, that Cryo Archive will be players' first taste of a raid like instance in Marathon, which will contain gameplay mechanics similar to ones seen in Destiny raids, such as puzzles, in match events, and evolving sequences of objectives. Bungie outlined everything you need to know in a recent blog post ahead of its going live on Friday, March 20th, and only available on the weekends. Which, yeah,
Mm.
I get the mentality of, oh, it's a big event, but if people are constantly working and people are constantly busy and then the weekend rolls around, sure, some might say, well, since this content is only available on the weekend, I might as well do this.
They're on if it's available on the weekend, their target audience is more likely like kids and people who are just off during the weekend. Give them something to do. Hope that they can attract their attention. The problem with that is your game has to be interesting. I've heard talk about even like the forever games and all that, like stuff like Fortnite. Just not being a forever game because Fortnite's finally running dead. And there's Warframe, and I'm like, I love Warframe. Warframe, to the best of my knowledge, is not taking a downhill turn. They're starting to take a turn. I don't know where it's going though. I can't tell if it's going up or it's going to go down. But it's looking like it's going to go one way or the other. But like we can't really tell the future of the games because these like we're getting a lot of developers in there that are not they don't have good intentions. They say they have good intentions, but they don't got good intentions, and they I will never forget that deal like with the Sweet Baby interview. I had to I wish I could pull the video up, but I'm just going to summarize it. This is like a seminar between from one of the Sweet Baby executives or something like people. I had to like what's her name? I forgot her name. She went up on stage though, and she like said like what you do. Basically, I'm gonna like simplify it. What you should do if you feel like you're not being very that game's not being very inclusive or not being very representative. It said and your boss like turns it away or something like that, or like like shuts it down, or you feel like it doesn't take you seriously, and it starts words. Go have a cup of coffee with your HR. And I'm like, so in other words, you're trying to blackmail to get your way. You're trying to have HR rough in and say you're gonna have to do what she says or we're not gonna have you. I'm like, that is fucked up. If it were me, you come in and have coffee with me and I'm fucking HR, you have coffee with me and you try to tell me like this, and this, and it's like not being inclusive, I'm gonna fire your ass if you're trying to tell me I need to like make him do what you want. Or I ain't gonna fire your ass because like, I don't have that kind of authority, I don't think, but there would be repercussions. And I think this should be watched. Oh, wait, that's gonna be the later video. Never mind. We're gonna resume.
And maybe play Crimson Desert during the week and Pacopia, that doesn't mean that you are leading people to playing Marathon in the weekend. It could just lead to people saying, meh,
Ooh,
I don't like
hot.
Marathon enough to only play it on the weekend when I only have a big chunk of time. And even the access
Yeah.
media.
Marathon is a extraction shooter. Uh, and from what I've seen, like it's not a game I would play over the weekend. There's not enough to do. Ugh. Ooh, wigging out. There is not enough to do in Marathon for me to want to play it all weekend, or even like one day, a whole day. I would say I would rather spend my time in Warframe or Skyrim or Fallout or some game that has more respect for my time. Gives me something more to do.
Is admitting that Bungie knows Marathon's brutal raid is a problem for casuals. And sure, I think it is fine
Ooh,
for endgame content to be much more difficult than the base game content and for there to be a difficulty spike. They expect
yeah.
you to have improved as a player once you've gotten
No,
to
I
that
never
point, and
improve.
once you put maybe 20 or 30 or 40 hours into the game and you've reached that endgame content. But a lot of people are just saying, yeah, this is a really, really big problem for them because I know I'm not going to even touch a game if the company knows that there's a end game problem for casuals and I could be deemed a casual. So right now, a lot of this is looking really bad for Bungie. Top
Like with the way things are going right now, some people like brutal games, but when it comes to an extraction shooter, yes, some people like the brutal deal, but like it feels like they built their game not based on brutality. They built their game looks like they built their game aiming for the casual player and then added an end game that's not for casuals, which I don't think's a good idea. I feel like if you aim for the casual audience, you're aiming for the casuals. then you need to continue to feed the casuals. Like they need more content targeted towards them. You're not Escape from Tarkov. Tarkov is not meant for a casual player. If you play Tarkov, if you try to be a casual player, you're never getting out of raid unless you're in PvE or get really lucky. Because that shit is brutal and it hurts the soul. Trust me. It hurts the soul. But yeah, I think this is like bad decisions on them.
All of that off with the fact that PC is its main platform, as we have heard several
Oh no.
analysts say. I personally do not like or trust Paul Tassi a lot of the time, so of course take this with a grain of salt. But even he is claiming that marathon players are primarily playing this on PC and these are the best numbers they can get.
Mm,
Yeah, that is a very, very bad look
I hope it's crossplay.
for them. I don't know if this live service game can stay alive for a very long time with these types of
I give it another 2 months.
numbers, especially if it doesn't have paid DLC. It's honestly so hilarious to me that Bungie asked the Access Media to delay their reviews until this content had released, and now that it finally has, it's not going super positively for them. A lot of people are criticizing Bungie and Marathon. Even the critics are admitting that this is like a really big problem for casuals, and this is what Bungie thought was going to be super positive and what people were going to love, and that it was going to change the critics' opinions on the game, and that doesn't really seem to be the case. As I say,
If you have to tell the critics to wait until we release this to review, then you release an unfinished game which should be reviewed right then and there. Why should I wait? You release the game. You ask $40. I pay $40. I'm gonna review it whenever the fuck I please. If it wasn't ready to be released, it shouldn't have been released. You should have released it all ready at once. You released a cookie half baked or it's like some kind of saying like I should say it like this, like you released a half baked game, then you release the other half, but players are gone. It's too late. Nobody cares anymore because they tasted it, they kind of liked it, but then you got to the unbaked part and you're like, well, I don't like it now, and it left. They left, and now you release the other part, but now they already got a bad taste in their mouth. So why would they come back?
all the time, I would love
Bad
for every
analogies.
single game to be a massive success
But a genuine question: why would they come back?
and for people to enjoy the products they're purchasing. I don't want people to feel like they got
Ah,
ripped
but
off
like,
or they got scammed. I don't want people to feel disappointed and I don't want people to feel let down. But at the same time, you need to start blaming companies for creating bad content or content that does not resonate with you. And if you're somebody who loves Marathon and thinks that it is fantastic and awesome, make sure you voice on social media what you like about it and how much you enjoy it so that the company can still continue to listen to your feedback because you are part of their target audience. But we know a lot of companies just don't care. And
they
even
don't.
with them admitting they know that this content isn't going to appeal to casuals, they are already saying that they are going to try to make a more casual raid for the next release. So that right there is a major problem for
Need to cook at the moment. So that's really stupid. Like, so your next release is gonna be aimed for the casuals. Your next release is gonna be aimed for the casuals. Well, by the time you release that next release, buddy, this number is gonna be a lot smaller. Do you really think you're gonna get it back up to this number, or even close to this number, or even this number? Probably not. Instead of focusing on releasing a new one for more casual friendly, maybe you should tweak what you currently have. Fucking dumbasses.
For the people who are still giving this a shot and still playing it. I'm curious to see if Bungie is going to update us on sales figures and engagement and interaction. I
Oh
don't think
no.
that they will. I think they already would have at this point.
No, they won't. Unless they hit some good numbers, they ain't gonna reveal that. Because then that makes them look bad, and their investors won't like that.
Maybe this game, on the very generous end, has sold 2 million copies, given the owner estimations on Steam are 835K to 1.14 million at its highest. We know that PC is its main platform, though, so like I said, generous 2 million. Either way, this is not a good look. Having 26K players in game right after the release of the new content, and well, the all time peak not even being close to touched at the 88K that it has held since launch day is a
Oh,
very bad look for Bungie. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below if you
let's see. All right, thank you. Um, this is really unfortunate. Bungie just really taking a sharp decline. Marathon just kind of didn't hit the expectations people wanted. Other than that, I don't really got anything else to add to this. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you'll have a great day. Also, make sure to check her out in the link in the description below.